Church Street is a surface of constant motion, a place where commerce is not only about selling, but also about culture, memory, and survival. The architecture of the street often disappears behind stalls, leaving the edge as the only space of exchange. In this environment, everyday practices are vivid yet easily missed if you don't stop and look. Amidst this intensity, the small library caught my attention, camouflaged among the multiple store signages. It raised the question, is the library doing the best it can for its people, or is its presence being diminished by the street's energy? I wondered what it would take for the library to assert itself, and this is how my thesis project began. This led me to study libraries in different forms, from traditional institutions to alternative knowledge-sharing practices. The British Library, Canada Water Library, Biblioteca Alexandrina, and even Church Street Library. I analyzed plans and sections and highlighted public versus service zones. Journal after journal, I gathered inspiring keywords and quotes. How can learning spaces be built for the people of Church Street, merging commerce and learning and connecting with people where they already spent time? The scattered library was my first attempt to embed learning across Church Street, dispersed fragments blending with the market stalls. But while it captured distribution, it lacked clarity for how people would move or engage. Examining the street further, I realized the scattered library needed a stronger connection to culture. I began thinking of capsules where visitors could engage with the practices of those who have lived and worked here for generations. These moments drew on sensory experiences, the smell of spices, the touch of fabrics, the rhythms of trade, turning cultural knowledge into architectural experience.
Well, when I was born, my father was already trading here, so I was working on the stall from the time I could walk. We've been here since the day this market opened.
That was my granddad's salad stall in Church Street. That's my dad, and that's my Uncle Bert.
Further up the road was a dairy, and if the dairy was shut, they had a big brass handle on the door, and you pulled the handle down and you got your milk. You put your penny.
So I took a step back and thought of things differently. From the cultural layer, I developed a binary system. Stalls rich in sensory and cultural cues extended thresholds, drawing people deeper into the project. Less stimulating stalls created moments of pause, allowing reflection. This system structured movement and engagement, transforming the street into a guide for thresholds and intensity. How can I lure the public into an architectural space that serves both commerce and public space instead of letting them linger at the building's edge? A process decreasing the sensory overload and increasing their sense of self-consciousness. The focus then shifted to the thresholds themselves. The arch became a repeating device, multiplied to reflect movement, depth, and intensity. Each iteration created a sequence of passages, translating the street's energy into architectural rhythm. To tie everything together, I realized I needed a storyline, a thread connecting all layers and explaining the reason behind the project. The most overpowering feeling I experienced throughout the year was the loss of my father. I began thinking of this personal experience as a metaphor, linking the scattered fragments I observed in Church Street to the beads of a sibha, which needed care and attention to be threaded. A sibha is a string of prayer beads, used across the tradition of the people of Church Street for counting prayers. Each bead represents a fragment, small, significant, and needing care. For this project, the beads become a metaphor for Church Street culture, each fragment of memory, practice, and knowledge preserved over generations.